Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Technopoly 411, the show that takes technology, reads it, makes it, and spits it out. Here are your hosts, Nick Wattier, Sarah Rajek, and Mike Tesla.
With over 3,100 exhibitors, 1.8 million square feet, and 20,000 product launches, 2012 saw the largest CES ever.
CES, or the Consumer Electronics Show, is the birthplace of dozens of technological innovations over its 44-year run.
So while everyone else is reporting on this year's big announcements, why don't we take a quick look back at our Fave 5 product launches of CES past?
Why don't we start from the start, as Loverboy would say, of video games as we know them from the 1975 CES announcement of the Pong home console. While Pong wasn't the first commercial game of its time, it was really the first to go viral, long before anyone ever thought to apply that term.
The first prototype Pong coin-out machine suffered from an overflow of quarters, and the home console suffered from similar success.
Despite their difficulties finding financial backing. According to an uncited line on Wikipedia, banks associated Pong to pinball, which for some reason was associated with the mafia. Okay. Whew. All right.
Moving right along, I'd like to commend the 1988 CES show for bringing us one of the first majorly successful puzzle games, Tetris.
Wait, that can't be right. According to Wikipedia, Tetris was released in North America in 1986. Why would they announce the game 2 years later?
Let me finish, Mike. Sure, the game was made for the IBM PC and Electronica 60 in 1985 and saw great success. But in 1988, Nintendo announced the Game Boy edition.
Well, let's face it. Tetris made the Game Boy and sold over 30 million copies. Can you believe that? I think the only game that sold anything near that many copies was Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm one step ahead of you there, Mike. If you add up all of the sales of both Pokemon Red and Blue, which launched together 10 years after Tetris, you're still about 6.5 million copies short.
Yeah, I guess so, okay, yeah. Well, why don't we catch up a bit and cross into the 1990s with the 1998 announcement of HDTV.
Now, lest ye be confused, the term high definition is relative and actually dates back to the 1930s, where they used the term to represent systems displaying anything more than 30 lines of resolution. Where today's HDTVs, of course, have as much as 1,080.
Wow, 30 lines at first. That's quite an improvement. Well, though, not for long, though, Sarah. Companies such as Sony, Panasonic, Toshiba, and several more are already working out the kinks out of their 4K TV sets.
You do realize that they started working on 8K back in 2005, right? You know, while we're at it, why don't we piggyback number 4 onto HDTV with the 2009 announcement of 3D HDTV.
Indeed, why don't we? The biggest challenge of 3D HD is in keeping the screen refresh rate fast enough to show two different images fast enough that each eye sees a smooth video image, even while only seeing half of the images displayed.
Okay, here's a quick lesson for those of you shopping for HD TVs right now. There are two types of 3D out there, active or passive. The 3D TVs you tend to find cheap at the big box stores from companies like Vizio or Kobe are passive displays. To keep costs down, the television set works at a slow frame rate and has a permanent coating on the screen. When wearing passive glasses, each eye can see half of the lines on the screen. So if you're looking at a 1080p signal on a 3D Vizio, you're really only seeing a 720p image.
But on the flip side, an active 3D screen, like that of the Sony TV, may cost a bit more, but the whole screen shows the entire image for each eye. The glasses have a sensor to synchronize with the image being displayed on the screen.
So you're literally seeing 120 frames per second, 60 per eye.
That's a lot of numbers there. Well, I suppose. That concludes our show for today. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, Nick will be bringing us a special guest, Rick Shipkowski, to talk about a new breed of 3D cameras. And later this month, I'll be back with another installment of The Current. Oh, everybody loves that. Thanks for joining.